I spilled a droplet of water on my shirt right before I started shooting, so now I look dumb. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're going to talk about agreeing to things while your mind is screaming, no, no, please, don't agree. Don't do this thing. Because I, for one, agree to a ton of crap that I don't want to do. Why do I do it? Am I just a glutton for punishment? Am I a martyr? I think it's a mixture of a lot of things, kind of like that. What is it for you? Do you agree too much? It's like being asked to volunteer for stuff or to hang out with people. Or maybe it's some gig. Maybe there's even money involved and you agree to do it even though you really don't want to. And it's not even about the money. Now, as I mentioned in my last video about anticipatory anxiety, I don't want to do anything ever. I dread doing everything because it makes me anxious. And so when it comes down to it, I agree to do things because I feel like if I if I didn't agree to do things because I didn't feel like doing them, I'd never do anything because I'm anxious about it. So I'm pushing myself. I know that it's just anxiety and I need to just do it. And because of that, it's difficult for me to actually tell what I don't want to do, what I actually don't want to do, and what I'm just anxious about. But even so, the other thing is I'm a much too agreeable person. I mentioned the Big Five test in the last episode. I'm highly neurotic. I have high anticipatory anxiety, but I'm also highly agreeable. I want to keep things smooth with people. If they want me to do something, I'll say yes because I want to agree with them. And for me, it's like just not wanting to do something is not good enough of an excuse, you know? Like, it feels like I need more. I need a lot more in order to justify not wanting to do something and saying no to it. And then beyond that, even when I can come up with reasons and like several reasons of why I don't want to do something, why it won't work, why I shouldn't do it, that still doesn't feel like enough. It's like, no, you're just making excuses of why you can't do this. You're not a good person. Like these are the things that go through my head. It's like, whoa, what is wrong with me? And so I have agreed to do things repeatedly that I had no interest in, I didn't want to do. And you know, sometimes you go ahead and do those things and it works out fine and you're like, okay, whatever, I guess I'm glad I did it. But then other times you get through it and you're like, I am never doing that again. And then what happens when it comes around next time, next month, next year, you're like, okay, I'll do it again. Man, to give you an example, it's kind of weird. Me and a friend, that's not grammatically correct, but you know what I'm saying. A friend and I, we went to grad school together, and while we were in grad school, she had a connection where we put together this little play, a little murder mystery to happen during like a formal tea at this venue that she had a connection with. And everyone loved it. We got these actors together, we put on this play, and it was a big smash hit. So we said, let's do it again next year. I said, okay, we did it. Then the next year, we did it again, and my interest was going down and down every year, but we kept doing it. And there was a year where I thought to myself, I'm not doing this again next year. I just don't want to do it. It's too much. It's causing me too much stress now, and I'm not enjoying it. I don't get paid for it. And I did it again the next year. So there are many other examples just like that, except some of them I never enjoyed it. It was just like from the beginning, I didn't want to do it, and I did it, and I keep doing it every time I'm asked to do it. Now, part of it is we don't want to disappoint others, and we don't want to let them down, and we don't want them to dislike us because we let them down. Another thing can honestly be not wanting to miss out. Like, even though we don't want to do it, there's something in the back of your mind that's like, well, maybe something good will happen. I don't want to miss out just in case it turns out okay. And then, at least with me, there is also a general guilt that goes along with saying no to something. A crushing guilt that I've done something bad by not doing the thing that someone else asked me to do. Now, I know that, at least with me, and so maybe you all can relate to this, the problem, as I've realized it over the years, is that I think I'm much more important to other people than I actually am. Now, sure, in certain circumstances, like if it's a really close friend or a sibling, you're really important to them. They want you to be there. But a lot of times, like when a friend who's like not a really close friend, but someone I see somewhat often, they ask me to go to a party, and when I say no, it's like, oh no, I'm really letting them down. They're gonna be really sad. But honestly, they they might not care. They might not even realize I'm not there. Because I feel like I'm this principal character in everyone's lives, but I'm really probably more of like a walk-on with one line in a lot of people's lives, and I don't realize it. And that's okay. It's actually a good thing, because then I can say no to them more often. It's good to realize that you're not going to ruin someone else's time if you're not there. You can say no to it, and they'll still have a great time. So I said no to something today. This is why I'm thinking about it. While I'm thinking about it, let's stop for a quick commercial break. Do you need help saying no? Cut out the awkward conversations and get no cards. These elegant cards displaying the word no will get your point across without you having to breathe a word. And now, back to the video. I said no to something today. This is why I'm thinking about it. And it was hard for me, and I felt guilty afterwards, but I felt like it was something I needed to do. It was for my side gig. I was asked to work on this project, and it's with this company I've worked with many, many, many times before, and I enjoy working with them, but I feel like it's a time in my life to start cutting back on these side gigs and focus on other things like YouTube. And it's a very hard thing to do, to like gradually let go of something. And this project they asked me to do, I just didn't want to do it. I wasn't interested in it. And I'm sure it's fine. I'm sure it'll turn out great, and I would have had a good time on it, but it just didn't appeal to me. And I didn't have like a legitimate reason. I didn't have a direct conflict. I had other things going on around it that made me think that it was going to be a little tough to work on, but I knew I could do it if I signed up for it. And they were going to pay me, and it was probably going to be good money. And this is not this is not to flaunt around saying I can turn down paying gigs. It's not like that. Because I could have used the money, but it was just this thing where I don't know that it's worth it, and I would rather spend time working on the things that I love to do. And so I said no, and I knew it was the right thing. Like, I've been chewing over this for days, maybe a week or two, and I've been like, I just don't want to do it. I just should say no. I don't want to do it. But then this other side is like, you don't want to leave them in the lurch, and then another one's like, if you say no now, they may never ask you again. You may lose this forever. Or you could use that money. You should say yes. Just tough it out. You can do it. And I said to myself, you just don't want to do it. So use this as an experiment to say no to this and see what happens. Is it a disaster? Are you really missing out? Are you going to go to financial ruin because you didn't get that money? Are they never going to hire you again? Let's just see. It's an experiment. That's what let me go through with it, was looking at it that way. And as soon as I sent the email declining the offer, I felt so bad. Like, to be honest, I felt guilty and like I'd done the wrong thing because I said no. And maybe I'll continue to feel that way for a while. I don't know. Maybe I did do the wrong thing. Maybe I should have just taken it. But it's so weird how your mind will say no, 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 no. And then as soon as you say no, you're like, oh no. But then if you say yes, your mind is still screaming, no, please don't do it. No. It's hard. I'm trying to train myself. I say yes way too often to things I don't want to do. And one last thought that I heard from one of my favorite teachers, Adi Ashanti. He was talking about this for some reason. And he's like, if you tell your friends you don't want to hang out with them, they should be happy for you that you have something better to do. So I think we should all take that outlook on life, that if someone if they don't want to hang out, if they don't want to do something with you, be happy for them, because you're their friend, they like you, but they have something even better to do. Don't take offense. I'm interested to see what my audience is like. Are you too agreeable? Do you say yes to a bunch of crap you don't want to do? Or can you stand up for yourself? Do you have a backbone, unlike me? If you made this transformation that I'm trying to make of saying no more often, let me know what you did, how it worked out. Thanks so much for watching. I apologize for the weird autofocus. I hope it's okay. Leave a like if you liked it, and I'll see you again real soon, perhaps tomorrow.